Hello and welcome to the Kimbley IT podcast. I'll start that again.
Podcast.
Yeah, podcast. Hello and welcome to the Kimbley IT podcast, our regular look back on the previous month. So this time round, it's June 2024, Carl. Did you have a nice June?
Yes. It's been all right, I guess. Yeah, plenty going on.
I was having a look through the calendar as I normally do for things to talk about. And there's really two main things that took place in June. So the Kimbley IT website had a refresh, an updated look, more colours on it, more special effects, videos changing and things like that. I'd say for probably the previous 18 months, I got a bit probably a bit bored of the site before, the layout and stuff like that. It was still, I've worked out that the internet goes through two phases, where everything is a square shape or it's a round shape, and we're currently in the round curvy phase at the moment now. Right, from the square shape, so I've updated to the round curvy phase after we've been in this through the square 5 years, I think it was that style one. Then it'll go back to square in about another 5 years time, because that's the way it goes. But the website's much easier to navigate now. A lot of older pages that had been built up over the years, I was able to remove and reduce because they just weren't required anymore. Especially with the Google Workspace services, which you can imagine we had quite a lot of pages about that. Updated quite a few of the older blog posts that needed updating. It was small things where some of the older blog posts were still referring to Google Workspace as G Suite or whatever, rather than the new name. So just updating those. And we have an interesting background, the animated backgrounds. The website's all animated and it uses a technology called WebGL, which I can use now because it's now supported by all the major browsers. Previously it wasn't. But it does mean that everyone who goes on the site gets a unique. No one gets the same. No one gets the same backgrounds. They're all slightly different because it's generated on the fly.
Right. Okay.
And it all works nicely in a mobile as well. So it's always worked in mobile, but I was able to tidy it up and neaten it up in a mobile as well. So we moved the platform. So the site is hosted via Squarespace. Previous site was on their 7.0 platform. And now I was able to move to the 7.1 platform and upgrade it, and it gives me a lot more control over the functionality on there, and to do more deeper, harder coding into it that's not necessarily part of the platform, but there's more functionality that allows me to do so. So that was pretty much it with the website, nicely cleaned up, as I said, and refreshed, and I know you like it, so that's all that matters. But actually, it's funny, on the day that it went live, we did actually get someone book a video call on the same day. So
yeah, we did. That's right. Yeah.
Could happen a bit more often though. That'd be nicer. But we did get one. Yeah. The other thing that happened in June is we went down to XeroCon. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we went down to the accounting show XeroCon at the Excel in London. You drove down there. I took public transport down because it's just easier for me to get the train. And I felt that show was perhaps on its last legs down there. It just didn't have the vibe that it had previously. We did get to meet one of our clients down there, which is always nice to do. But that room was quite empty, I felt, that day. And the word on the street from accountants is Accountex is the big deal now, and not so much the XeroCon.
Actually, we met more than one of our clients down there. I think there was 3 there that we spotted.
I couldn't find one. I checked after you had and couldn't get hold of them.
Well, because we never, apart from one that you have met before in real life, I've never met any of them in real life before. So it was nice meeting Alistair and Rachel. And we were trying to look for Gavin of Beach Accountants, but he's a hard man to find. I gave up. I went home. Can't find this guy. I'm off home.
I know. I played the XeroCon party, which was good. I have to say, they do a good party. It's a funny thing. They basically do a works outing at the same time as their conference, really. That's what they're doing. But, it was a good opportunity to go down and see our customers in their own space.
Well, I spoke to a company there called Cresco, which I'm quite interested in taking payments. Seems they're not interested in me because they never got in contact afterwards, even though they took my details. So wasted opportunity by them. But it was a lot smaller than it normally was. And especially the vendor area and stuff like that. It doesn't seem like it'll be going on for too much longer. XeroCon. It might have been taken over by the I think it's Accountex, which might be the big one. But anyway, it's always good going just to see clients and meeting ones that you've never met before in real life.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I might have got one of them to agree to do a client story, which I've been trying to get them to do for a while, but now I've met them face to face.
Okay.
They're a bit more open to doing it. So we might have a nice client story down in Cornwall at some point.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's good.
And then the other thing, I mean, you did was at the end of last month. It does feel like the start of this month, but it was actually the end of last month. We went to we met up for lunch, didn't we, at the Amelia's bar at the Wolverhampton Halfpenny Airfield, which was, I say, the best. All I remember is the best peppercorn sauce I've ever had on my steak. It was brilliant.
The burger was good. Yeah, I had a really nice food there at the Light Aircraft Airfield. So pretty interesting. It's a little aircraft taking off and landing. Helicopter. We saw someone practicing flying a helicopter. We thought.
Yeah, we did. I said the only downside was it takes them a bit long to serve the food.
It does. Yeah, they need to chop that up a bit. It was like 40 minutes, wasn't it? So they need to work on that a bit.
Yeah, our theory is they've definitely only got one chef and they're doing it in table order, and they don't move on until they complete one table.
Yeah.
I didn't actually do any new videos for the YouTube channel last month, which was the first time ever, but that was mainly down to the fact that I had a chest infection for about half the month. And the previous part of the month was one we were down at Xerocon. So took a few days out and just didn't have time to get around to doing any of the videos. But I did manage to do 2 new blog posts. One was how to import Chrome passwords to Bitwarden. That came about because Bitwarden is our preferred password manager, and we did have a client that was moving to Bitwarden, and they needed some guidance on how to export their current passwords in Chrome into Bitwarden. Bitwarden does have an article on it, but it's kind of a bit techy. If you're a technician, it's a bit easier for you to follow than a normal person. So therefore, I decided to create an article which is down to the basics of how you do it, make it nice and simple. And then I did an updated post. We've got a few of this, but about Google Vault, because Google Vault is one of these services that comes with Google Workspace that no one knows about. But what it's doing is super important in retention of information, keeping that information, even if an end user deletes the information, it's kept in Google Vault. It's not a backup service. It's there for e-discovery. It's there essentially if someone comes along and wants to see you, you can find quickly all that data you need, far cheaper than hiring a legal firm to come in and go through your data manually trying to find it. This Google Vault can find it almost instantaneously, and as it says in the video that I've got linked in there, litigation is more about what the data you have got and can find compared to the data that you can't find. So you really need to be able to find that data when litigation or HR issues come along.
Yeah, I would imagine I've had more than one situation where an employer has said, this person is leaving. Can you monitor if they delete everything from their mailbox or that kind of situation? Well, maybe they do. Sometimes they do delete everything from their mailbox. If you've got Vault, doesn't matter, because everything that was in there is going to be in the Vault for you to see what it was before they deleted it. And if they did delete it, there's a good chance there'll be something interesting because there'll be a reason why they did that. Yeah.
So Vault is there, and it's on Google Workspace. But if you haven't got a partner who's looking after Google Vault for you, it won't be configured. It won't be configured. It won't know your retention policies and stuff like that because you need to set these up. So, for example, you may have a requirement if you're in a regulated industry that you can only keep data for a certain period of time. So you can't have it set for indefinite because then you're breaking the regulation in that thing. So you need to know how to control it and set it up. And it's not the easiest thing to set up in that if you've never done it before. For you and I, we've done it multiple times, so we know exactly what to do. But if you haven't got an IT partner that knows anything about Google Workspace, you're doing it on your own, then there's a lot of time you're going to have to spend learning how to get that to work and set up the way it should be done for your specific organization.
Yeah, absolutely.
Finally, we'll move on to the assistance and support statistics. Do you want to have a bet how many subscribers contacted us last month?
126.
It's up 2%, if that helps.
No, it doesn't.
It was 117.
Oh, okay.
Not too far, to be fair. Of those, 100 got in touch requesting assistance where they want to know how to do it better. And in comparison, 17 were asking for support where something's not working as they expect.
Yeah.
For those, the ones asking for assistance, how to do something better, 73 of them received a complete interaction within 5 minutes. So got in contact with us within 5 minutes. They're back at work, knowing how to do something better. And then there was 27 that took a bit longer because they'd have more complex questions, and they had a complete interaction between 5 to 30 minutes. Nice. Of the subscribers sending requests for support, 7 had a complete interaction and were back at work within 5 minutes. 9 took a bit longer between 5 to 30 minutes, and 1 took over 30 minutes, but less than an hour to sort out their issue for them. which I think might be a reinstall of Windows. I need to double check that, but just from memory, I think it was a reinstall of
We
Windows.
had the Windows resets, yeah.
Yeah. 112 of those people contacted us through our unique instant messaging service, which is always the quickest way to get in contact. 4 emailed and 1 had a video call. Then finally, it turns out that if six people would not need to have got in contact if they'd had a bit of regular training on using the services they have inside their business.
Yeah.
And that is the summary for June. Anything you want to add to that?
No.
You sure? It looks like you're thinking about something then. You may have had something on the tip of your tongue, but you thought, best not say that.
No, it's not one of those. I think it's something we'd already done in May. So,
Okay.
yes, that was it. I was going to get the chance to speak with the Foreign Office, but what with an election coming up, that all got delayed a bit. So I'm hoping to pick that up. Now we've got a new government. We will see.
Well, you're assuming that person's still in government.
Well, they're civil servants. They're a civil servant, so it's unlikely that they've gone. They're not a political appointee, so they've probably still got their job.
Need to chase them up then and get your talk down at the Foreign Office.
That's right. Yeah. This time I'll see if I might see if I can get myself down there. I'd rather go to London now.
See if Mr. Lamy wants to talk to you.
Yes, maybe he does.
Anyway, thanks for listening, and we will be back in a month's time.
See you later.